Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's OpenONU Go call. Thanks for joining. And as usual, the call is public and recorded, so please be mindful of whatever you share in the comments. So, as of right now, there's a few updates that we want to make, and there's very good news. First of all, but let's go in order, and we'll get to that as soon as we can. So, I don't believe there is any update from Matteo about this one. It's a fairly minor task, and I'll ask him to get it done whenever he can. There's really no rush for it. But yeah, I'm gonna ask him to get it done when he can. Ozge, do you want to give us an update on the multicast support? I saw that you updated the patch. I have not yet taken a look at that.
Yes, I updated it because I saw some comments on my page. Some comments about is Multicast flag. I know it should be a Boolean value, but it is coming a string value from the Volta libco. So that I created new issue in my story about the change this value type. I created a patch about this and I sent it now, but I don't know how can I handle it if the user gives the wrong parameter. Maybe I can convert it into OpenONU adapter with this string converter library. I don't know how I need to choose which repository I need to resolve this from the Volta libco or OpenONU adapter.
Okay, let me maybe take a look at the patches and then come back to you. I think this is a minor thing. But apart from that, everything else seems to be fine. Is that correct? Is my understanding correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it is. So this patch here is ready for review, and if it looks good to us, it can be merged, except that there are some failures.
I need to resolve this. I don't know why it wasn't failed.
Okay. Okay, then this needs further investigation. The unit tests and the linting can easily be solved. I think we need to also go take a look at the sanity test here. But I can spend some time on this between today and tomorrow and give back some suggestions around the best course of action for fixing these and also the the way to handle the Boolean. And okay, is there any other update in relationship to the multicast or IGMP?
I will. It is the next step for me. When I resolve this and merge this patch, I will start IGMP.
Sounds good. Perfect.
I cannot start this issue before merge this code base.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. I can understand that there's consistency between two issues. Any questions for Odge while we are here?
So perhaps some remark about the Unity test. I'm not sure if that was already reflected by the rebase that was done by Oscar. So we had recently some changes in our robot test case that we use for testing. And I think that's why a rebase to the actual code is necessary, but maybe that is already done by Oscar. I did not check it.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Perfect. Okay. I think the tech profile handling for AT&T, the task that Mikhail had during the subscriber provisioning was done. Mikhail, is there anything that you want to add to this one, or we can just call it done and move on?
Well, I'm just thinking over from the headline what topic it really is.
Oh, it has, as you can see here, it has this review here, which is
that was really the AT&T topic. Yeah, I think this was solved, and we had the according test case running with the changes.
Yeah, the test case was not ready, but you removed that, so I think it's actually you. So I think with this can be called done.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give us an update on the tech profile removal, the work that's going on over there?
Yeah, I started it a little bit. So I'm at the very beginning. I was busy with other tasks the last days, so there was not really much progress. So hope I come to that in the next days.
Okay. Do you still think that the end of November date is feasible?
Yes, I would hope so. So from the basic idea what has to be done, it's getting more clearer, and still I would think, yeah, it should be possible.
For my education, what do we mean by the tech profile removal?
It's the GEM port removal and the T-cont removal.
It's just removing some entries from the tech profile.
Sorry?
It's removing entries from the tech profile?
Yeah, basically it's
okay.
Removing entries from the tech profile. And yeah, internally for us, it's coming with the T-cont removal, the whole internal database for the tech profile is removed for the concerned tech profile.
From the ONU, actually.
From the ONU, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Any other question about this? Okay, I can give an update on the testing and how that is going, and I have to say it's going very well. So we have extended the pipeline for both the AT&T tests and the Deutsche Telekom tests we have to be the full suite of tests that we're currently running with the Python version. And if you can see, I added this tab, OpenONU Go, that has all the jobs we run. So this, there is one failure for this test, which is probably related to some infrastructure issue. I was debugging it this morning, and it's in the functional tests, if I'm not mistaken. No, in the failure scenario, sorry. So all the functional tests actually pass for Deutsche Telekom and for AT&T too. I can actually show it to you if this thing loads. But long story short, it's a very good successful set of tests. As you can see, we are passing most of them. There might be a little bit of an issue here, and this one has an issue that I'm going to talk about later. I precisely know what's going on here. These 26 tests that you see failing here are alarm tests that fail due to infrastructure, so don't really count those. And the scale jobs are passing very well. Also keep in mind that I've ran four runs per job of Girish's patch with these two. So the multi-tcon patch had run these two for today for 4 runs each, and I've seen consistent passing on those 4 runs, so that's pretty good. Yes, so the DT failure, it's related to a wrong ordering of parameters that we did for multi-OLT testing. So this is unrelated. And the issues with the AT&T test, which is this one, it's written DT, but it's actually an AT&T test. It's a naming issue. These two I'm going to talk about later, but the long story short, it's very good progress. I think we are very good. We have done a very good job, and thanks a lot to Holger and Michael and Grish that took a look at the issue that was there with the Circum ONU, which basically we had to implement a fix for the traffic because the traffic was not passing through the ONU, the Zircom ONU, because after a disable, delete, and then enable OLT, there was this particular test case that was failing, and that was because we were not performing a MIB lock and a MIB unlock procedure after the enable disable. So that was apparently causing some issues with the ONU. So we put that in place. The patch has already been merged, and that has proven to be successful both with the Alphas ONU in the XGS PON and with the AT&T workflow, and with the Zircom ONUs with the DT workflow in the GPON version. So this is really good. The one thing I still need to do for testing is that I've created a patch for inserting the custom image in the scale test, because right now you have to specify a few Helm keywords, and Grish got bit by not using _go. So I just want to create a simpler way of including a custom image in our scale tests. It's very simple. The patch is already, I've created already the patch, so that's going to be merged in the upcoming days. Any questions on the testing before I move forward? No? Okay. Then we had this topic about physical event reaction. And there is a Jira story on like checking what's the state is on things. So I have to say that we do have a power on, power off test, and it is working. So as you can see, I posted 2 links here. This and this one and this one both have it's one of the tests that I was showing here. So basically, we actually have a power adapter that is actually powering on and powering off physically the ONU, and the test seemed to pass. Sorry, my network is fairly uncooperative, but the test seemed to pass. So I'm not really sure what is, and it's this test here. It uses a power switch to power on and off the ONU. And that passes. So is there something else that we want to test here? I am looking especially at Michael and Holger. What are the scenarios that we have not considered?
In which states you are performing these power off, power on? Only in OMSI flows pushed or somewhere, or also other scenarios?
It's in the OMCI flow pushed. You see, it performs a sanity test, meaning that it passes traffic. When the traffic is passing, it switches it off. And that means that we need to first check that it check that it cannot ping. It removes the subscriber, it sleeps, it deletes the device, then it enables the switch outlet, and then the port comes up again. This is it's done this way because this is the DT workflow. In the AT&T scenario, the delete device is not actually there.
What would be interesting though, and I think it's not just for this, for the ONU here adapter, but for a lot of our hardware tests, right? Disruption while you're mid-operation. So not after the flows are pushed, but let's say they're half pushed or they've started pushed but not complete, right? Powering off in those scenarios, eventually you're going to have to be tested to see if the system reacts there, right? We're essentially failing in fairly stable states. Eventually our tests will have to start failing when we're not in quote unquote stable states.
For example, in initial MIP downloaded state?
For what happens if the download started and then the machine reboots, the device reboots before it's completed?
You mean in the middle of uploading the MIP?
Yes, something like that.
Okay, I think we could simulate this.
So
I mean, and to be fair, it's a lot more than just the ONU here and the ONU adapter, right? The whole system needs those type of tests eventually.
So I have to say that the requirement for now is to pass these tests. So
that's absolutely fair. I just don't want to see the other ones lost forever.
No, that is okay. It's more maybe a topic for the testing brigade because the test needs to be created and then tested. But fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Andrea, this one that you showed here, from my point of view, well, it's possible testing, but it's not really relevant to the behavior of the ONU adapter because in between you have the delete device.
Mm-hmm.
So all
So
the
as
stuff
I said,
starts from new.
This is the DT workflow. The AT&T one does not have it. The AT&T one does not have the delete. So if you look here, it does not have such delete in there. It removes the subscriber, that it does, but it does not delete the device. So this one is a little bit more, how could you say, stressful on the ONU adapter than the DT one. And I believe this one passes. I am pretty confident that at least the power on, power off works.
What is the reason to removing the subscriber before the power switch? Or that would this be a realistic scenario?
Well, these tests were actually created in conjunction with people from AT&T and Deutsche Telekom, meaning that this is what they do. When they receive a port down event, they just remove the subscriber. That's how they do it.
Yeah, the DT's name layer would actually, as soon as it sees a port down, it removes the subscriber. That's their workflow. But since we don't have their name layer, I mean, this is how we emulate that behavior from the test suite.
Yep.
Okay, that means the power off, power on test without any further configuration is not envisioned or not foreseen here, right? So out of the blue, and then the power off out of the blue, and then the whole system must come up again. That's not the use case, right?
Power off of this. What do you mean? This is.
Yeah, when everything is provisioned and OMSI flows are pushed and traffic is running, and then we have this power off, power on without any further interaction by the Volta core, the traffic should run again, right?
Yeah, but the point, Holger, is that this Volta remove subscriber access is actually done by the NEM layer, meaning that it will be done because whenever a power off happens, a port down event gets fired.
Yeah.
So the NEM will pick it up and say, oh, let me remove the subscriber. And that will always happen.
I see.
But you see, like here in the AT&T scenario, we check that we go back to MCI flow pushed again as soon as it comes back because of the ePOL flow. And then we push the subscriber again. Here.
Yeah.
ULT add subscriber access, and it works. So long story short, do you guys think we can consider this story done, or should we break it up in a few pieces? Because, for example, I have not tested UNI cable unplugging.
Actually, that should be the same, nearly the same as power off, power on, or because when light is switched off at the ONU, then all the configuration should go away. Or correct me if I'm wrong, Michael.
Yeah, seen from the system point of view, it's a little bit more because you have effects on all possible ONUs that are connected to this PON interface, and there will be more reactions on OLT and OLT adapter side, but I think nothing that we directly are concerned with. So from our point of view, the test as done here, is nearly the same.
It's not uni, right? It's ANI, I mean, PON side.
PON side, yeah.
It's actually both, because if I'm not mistaken, there is a difference between what, again, a difference between AT&T and Deutsche Telekom here, that an unplugging on the RG side issues a port down in the case of AT&T and not Deutsche Telekom. I have to go back and look at this. But in any case, there in this one, I'm referring both to the RG and the optical. So it might be that we need to test both.
Okay, but if you disconnect the LAN side of the ONU, well, then we perhaps have a problem with the indications of the port states, UNI port states, because the notifications are not yet handled. So that might be problematic at the moment, and it would perhaps be a test that still does not work.
Okay, so I'll split the task in maybe two, 1 and 3 maybe. One for the power on, power off, which is done. We assume that these tests do work, so that's perfect. And then one for the cable unplugging on the UNI on the RG side, and one for the ANI optical side. And here, Girish, I would like you guys, Holger and Michael, if you have the test bed to test it, but we can also probably test it on the ONF side.
Our problem is that our testbed is located in Huntsville, Alabama, and we only can switch off, switch on the power connector, and not the cable.
Okay, then we will have to do it within ONF.
Okay, thank you.
Andrea, I want to say something about this. This case gives same reaction from the OLT. I think if our on-off test is okay, I think other tests will be okay. But you can check it.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Otzge. Yeah, I do agree that a loss of it will yield basically both the power off and the cable unplugging will result in a loss of PON from the OLT perspective. Sorry, not loss of PON. It's another one. Loss of PON is the whole tree. The one for the single ONU. But I still want to check the cable unplugging on the RG side. So that's something that we need to do. But again, we can do it. I would say that this is a priority after 2.6. Not at the moment. Okay, perfect.
Andrea, if you could perhaps take a look once more at the Jira story. I'm not really sure what really was the topic of that. I think that was port status according to physical events. Yeah, because I had a look at the behavior of the code in some of the possible events, and there's a certain event notification that is generated by the ONU adapter towards the core, which indicates the operational state of the, I think, of the UNI port, if I'm not wrong. This is something still above the upper and admin state handling of the physical or of the logical port. This is really a kind of event notification, and I have observed that the corresponding different adequate notification is never sent. So we only send such an event notification for an upstate, but no downstate. And I'm wondering if that has any effect in the system. So the question is, should we handle that under this story and discuss it under this story, or should we do it in another story?
I think we can probably break it up into a few stories. I think I can break this one up into power on, power off, hard power on, power off.
Yeah, it seems a little bit limited to the port status and how the system in general behaves, and it looks good, but yeah, the question that I still have to discuss, what purpose really these separate system events have in the system, or perhaps they are not needed at all. And if, then we possibly have to supply according further events in the system. Else, if not, then the state is not really consistent.
Which events are you referring to?
I would have to show you in the code. These are kind of system events that are sent to the RW core.
Okay, let's maybe take it on as an item for a next meeting.
Maybe we do it in a different story. So we let this story for the overall system behavior for certain system events, handlings, and this specific one for the internal Volta events we can discuss in another story.
Yep. Maybe we can have a discussion on that when we have a little bit more time to dedicate to it. Okay. But again, I think we can call this one done. And then I'm going to update the task, exactly describe what is going on, and we can create another one for the events. Okay, perfect. There was an issue for the subscriber authentication that was showing up sometimes in the scale job. And thanks, Girish, for taking a look at that one. And it was a read-write access exception on a map. and there was a little fix that was included, and now the tests run very smoothly and very well. And there's really no real issues. So it was this very small fix that you guys can see here, just a lock on a map and not to get consistent access. Grish,
This was the one that was surfacing as a timeout issue?
this was the one that was surfacing as one or two ONUs not showing up.
Okay. Because I thought there was one issue, maybe I'm remembering wrong, that there was, you guys were saying that there was a Grpc timeout that you were seeing in some of the scale tests. Am I remembering incorrectly?
Maybe this was a while ago and possibly it has been fixed. I would have
Okay.
to double check, but it is not this one. This
Okay.
one is related to the tests, to the ONU not coming up. If you look here at these robot results, hopefully they're still there. Basically, it was failing in the discovery ONU activation in Volta.
Yep.
And again, it was 461 versus 1024. So
Yeah.
it was
Okay. Yeah, we need to run some of these tests again, not only for this, but for general with race condition checking on too. See if we can catch any other issues, potential issues down the line.
Sure, that could be an interesting thing to do. Okay. So, but thanks for that. Grish, do you want to add anything? Am I?
No, not really.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks.
Always done. Okay, the one thing that I have seen but I have not investigated is a failure in the AT&T tests for the core restart. Here, it might not be related to the ONU adapter at all. I have to say it might not be because it's in a completely different piece of the system. They're all intertwined, so it might be. Basically, this test brings down the RW core container and the OF agent container, scales them down to 0, and then brings them up again and expects the system to be still working. That is clearly not the case. It fails authentication on this specific on the specific ONU. So I went in and did a little debugging. The one thing I came up with was that in ONUS, I see this failure that says that it's trying to add an already connected switch. And that's probably due to some missing cleanup. So I guess I would have to investigate this further to make sure that we are we're doing the right things, the right set of steps. So I'll have to investigate this one, and this is the reason why the AT&T tests actually fail, and it is related to the OF agent restart because you see also the OF agent restart fails. So it might be for the same reasons. It might be for different reasons. I would have to check. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Girish.
the OF agent restart. There was I had actually fixed. Okay, let me take a look at these logs.
Okay.
I think I fixed one of those tests. Let me spend some time today.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Girish. That's appreciated. Appreciated. And again, I'm not really exactly sure what's going on, but the two tests are clearly related because in both of them we bring down the OF agent, and the OF agent is the one responsible for the connection to ONUS. And I see that log. I can send it over to you, Girish, for further analysis, but really it's about the ONUs basically already seeing the device and effectively is in the lower part of ONUs, which means that the connection was not really torn down properly. Let me show you the log. It's this one. You see it says duplicated DPID or incompleted cleanup.
Okay, I will check. Thanks.
Andrea, is it planned to introduce new restart test cases for all the other containers too?
There are some of them. Like we actually killed the ONU adapter here. We restart the OFaging container, we restart the OpenOLT adapter. So there are a few of them. If you guys are interested in particularly doing one for the OpenONU Go adapter that is different from the one that you guys can see here, I would be more than happy to do it. Just let me know.
Are there, but there are but without traffic check currently, or is the traffic checked afterwards? After the restart?
Let's see. So we delete it. We verify that the port is still enabled. We verify that the authentication is there. Then we bring it up again. And for all the ONUs, we check that the port is enabled, that the enabled flows are there, that the device is there. Then we call authentication. And we verify that the traffic then is passing. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's pretty good adapter restart test. I'm not sure if it's there for AT&T. I would have to check because the authentication is not really there for AT&T. We might want a scaled down version of it. Let me actually check if it's there or not. This one. Yeah, here it's not there. We would need to add it. That's a test that we would need to add. I'm not sure if in 2.6 or after 2.6, but the ONU adapter restart for Deutsche Telekom needs to be added. Let me take a note of that.
Okay, this I'm asking because during investigation of this scale test issue, I came to the notice that, or to the idea that also the reconcile has to be reworked in some cases for the ONU adapter, because in very early stages there's no ONU data to be found in the etcd, which could be used by the OpenONU adapter to reconcile the already started ONUs. So that's why I wrote a bug report. But the question is if, but it would be a very special case where the adapter would crash, for example, in the middle of the MIP upload process or right after the ONU has been detected, something like this. But I don't, probably these tests are too specific, right? Or not?
Is the adapter stateful?
Yeah, he's stateful in that kind that he will, it's a new, will be a new functionality that he is writing into the etcd the data it has received, and the new implementation should then consider how many data are available for this ONU, and so to detect how far the startup was going before the crash of the adapter. This should be then possible to reach the same state as it was before the crash.
Okay, but can that same data be used by only that adapter instance, or can it be used by any adapter instance? I'm trying to understand if the container is somehow bound to that data. And if so, it's essentially a stateful container. And if it's a stateful container, that can be done. It just needs to be done with caution.
Actually, it is bound to the device ID. Also, you have these entries in the etcd. The key is a device ID of the ONU, and there the data are stored. That means all the ONU indication data, all the flows and tech profile information and so on.
So another ONU adapter could use that same data. Okay, thank you.
I think so. Yeah. Okay, but Andreas, such special tests are too far-reaching, right?
For now, yes. We might look at doing them when we have a little bit more time.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, great. So again, this if you have some time today, Girish, sure, investigate it. If not, I can also spend some time tomorrow. If you do spend some time on it, maybe do send us a recap email or a patch if you find directly the fix, so I can take it all over from you tomorrow.
Okay.
Perfect. The last topic is the multi-T-cont. Girish, do you want to give us an update on this one?
Yeah, I have a preliminary patch ready, and it works for AT&T and DT. For TT, where the real multi-T-cont functionality gets exercised, I see some issues with the configuration that is downloaded to the ONU. Basically, only one T-cont is installed and no gem ports. I need to debug that today. Yeah, there should be 3 T-conts, 3 gem ports, and a host of other configurations. So, something is going wrong definitely. So I will take a look at it today.
Okay. So this one is not really ready for merge.
No, not yet.
Okay, so let me maybe then give it a -1 just to make sure it doesn't slip under any nose or something.
Yeah, sounds good.
But thanks for the patch. I've taken a look. The code seems pretty good. It's pretty straight. No, I wouldn't say pretty straightforward, but pretty good. So I think that's a good thing. Okay. Michael, Holger, anybody? Do you guys have any comments on the multi-T-cont work that Girish is doing?
Yeah, also we had to look at the code and made some comments. For me, the principal idea looked quite good. So basically, this was a simpler approach than I had in my mind. So if that should be working really, then that would be quite fine. So yeah. Let's see what happens.
Yes, I also only found the SCR issues where I would like to stress them. But everybody should make this make step as SCA make step before providing. But the code itself was very good.
But the good news is that the SCA is now integrated with the Jenkins test, so it's actually failing if it doesn't find the right stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Somehow I missed them though. Let me fix that. Thanks.
Okay. Great. The last thing for the day is I don't really see a Chip from Tidbit here, but he did provide a patch for the OMCI libgo to include the unknown MEs. I just want to get a feeling from everybody on what are your thoughts on using this before or after 2.6. Because to use it before 2.6, we will need a change of the version. We will need to merge this, change the version, and actually do the fix in the code to remove the workaround we have and do the test. If you're fine releasing 2.6 with that workaround we put in place a while back to support the Zircon ONUs, I am fine with that. I want to hear everybody's thoughts around this. What do you guys think?
Andrea, is anybody relying on this proprietary data? I think in the MIP template, I have seen that there's only an unknown blob stored. That you will see unknown blob and then some hex values without any decoding. Is anybody relying on this currently? Or
well, not that I know of. I am not really sure if anybody's relying on that, but to the best of my knowledge, nobody is.
Then
The idea of Holger was simple to write the additional data that we cannot decode also to the etcd for, let's say, debug purpose if someone wants to.
Yeah, that is the same like for the template, yes. But when currently we ignore the proprietary MEs completely. And Michael, do you see any issue with this currently for the 2.6?
No, I don't see any issue with that. The only thing that my consideration is that it would be good to include this change also in the 2.6, and perhaps we have to verify how the current ONU adapter code reacts on this change. Maybe it is working in the same way, so it is a seamless incorporation. That would be my hope. And on the other hand, the idea was also to at least add some warning or debug entries for these unknown or unsupported managed entities. So I think that it should be not so much effort.
I know,
apart from the etcd storage.
Only for because of the neat schedule. This probably the reason why Andrea is asking if we should spend this time before November 30th.
It's not the most important task, and it's not really essential. But you know, it's always good to have the target version early in the system to see if some effects come up or not.
Yes. Okay, but I think that Andrea has to decide.
Okay. Well, let's maybe see what how things are going. If we have the time after we finalize the review, the merging of the review is not tied to using it into the Go adapter. So as soon as we feel the review is ready, we can merge it. Then what we see is if we have the time, we can port the version up one to this version in the Go adapter and use it and make the code changes accordingly and provide a patch and test it. If we feel we don't have the time or other tests are more urgent, we find other things that are not as good as that we need to fix more urgent than this one, we go on this one. We go on those. If not, we can make this fix. Make sense?
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so that was my last topic for the day. So I would like anybody to do the reviews of this one Odsge's patch whenever Odsge feels comfortable and has the update of the testing and all of that. I'll separate the Jira stories here. And Grish, if you can just take a look at this one, I can also take a look at it tomorrow. It's probably some error somewhere in the core, but it's okay. Michael is working on the tech profile removal. So that's great. I'll ping Matteo for this one. Anything else?
Andrea, there are two topics came to my mind. One
Yes.
is the problem that reconcile is not working in every state of a startup. And the second issue is that we currently have an issue when the MIP upload is interrupted by ONU reboot or something like this, or not answering. The ONU is not answering anymore, and there's some error handling of the state machine missing. What do you think? Is it which of these both stories are more important for you? The problem that the ONU is not answering for any OMSI requests, or that we have an issue with adapter rebooting in certain states of ONU startup? What's more important to fix?
Adapter rebooting, meaning that the Kubernetes just fully restarts the adapter?
Yeah. For example, when we have an error, as we had in the scale test, we had a problem in the ONU adapter, and we had a restart of the adapter, and this restart was done in a state for certain ONUs where the reconciling could not work because we had no etcd data or no data stored in etcd which could used to bring the ONU again to the state where we were before. I think it's more important, right? It's other issue for one particular ONU. And the second, as I said, the second issue is that when, for example, there's no reaction anymore from a certain ONU, that we can try to reactivate it by certain MIP resets or something like this.
Okay, probably the first one is more important to me, but I would like everybody's opinion on this. What are your guys' thoughts?
It's a little bit hard. Also, the problem.
Sorry, I lost my concentration for a while. Can you summarize?
The first issue is when the for example, a lot of ONUs came up and we had a crash in the ONU adapter, and the container would be restarted, and some ONUs were in the middle of starting up. For example, they received the ONU indication, but nothing else.
Yeah.
Then we do not have sufficient data and etcd store to bring this ONU to the state.
Okay.
And it hangs. That we have seen, as we have seen in the test, the ONU hangs in ONU activated.
Okay.
It comes not further. And the second issue is then when we have an issue during the MIP upload. For example, the ONU is not answering anymore, that we have a defined procedure to try to reactivate the ONU by multiple MIP reset or something like this. So that one is one issue is concerned for the whole adapter, and the other is for certain ONUs.
Yeah, I mean, right now, all our tests are in a controlled manner. We restart the adapter. Yeah, unless it crashes, I mean, you have no control, but we restart the adapter only when everything is in a stable state.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this functionality is good to have, but I don't think it's most critical for 2.6, in my opinion, because all our tests currently are in a controlled manner. And we
Okay.
hope it doesn't crash.
But these two issues came into my mind as Andrea brought the issue up that we incorporate a new OpenCI library for this storing the unknown or the proprietary MAs. So that in my mind, these two stories I mentioned would be a little bit more important than our. But okay. When we say we always have a controlled environment, then they are not so important.
Yeah, I mean, for now, I mean, for 2.6, yeah, I mean, all our tests are in a controlled manner.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, let's maybe get to these whenever we have finished our most important things. If you have some time, Holger, possibly the restart of the pod, that would be a nice one to get. But again, the other things are more important. So the tech profile removal, the multicast, the IGMP stuff, the multi-key cont, and testing it with your workflows, it would be most important. Okay. Guys, at the top of the hour, I have to jump to another meeting. So thanks a lot for joining. I'll publish the recording and let's continue the great work on Slack. And I'll see you guys next week.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
See you.
Thanks.